Hey, this is Greg from North Carolina calling in for a Discovery Home Companion. I'm in a bit of a weird position because I'm not actually watching the show right now, but I'm listening to the podcast, and I have to say, the James-Wade dynamic is getting pretty tiresome. James is getting really pissed off at every episode because it's peak TV invading Star Trek rather than Star Trek invading peak TV, and he hates the result, which, it's fine that he hates it, but he just keeps going with the same argument of, this is terrible, it can't be Star Trek, it can't redeem itself. Meanwhile, Wade sounds like he's trying to give it a chance. He might not be happy, but he's basically stuck in a position of going like, well, wait a minute, James, this isn't the worst thing ever. And of course, James is having none of it. Meanwhile, Hugh is sitting in the back line going, well, I have some problems with it, but, okay, you guys are just fighting again. Can we get back on topic? I'm honestly kind of put off by this dynamic that's developing. I don't think it's healthy. I feel bad saying this because I don't know you guys. Maybe you're having all sorts of fun off mic, and this is not a concern, but I really don't want you guys to hate the show because you hate having to talk to each other about the show. So please enjoy yourselves as much as you can. I don't want to tell you what you should feel because obviously I'm not watching, but please enjoy yourselves. If you're not enjoying yourself talking about the show, don't kill yourselves for us. We'll be okay. That's all I had to say. I'm out.
All right. Hey, well, welcome to Discovery Home Companion. Seems like, what do you think about that?
Well, I understand his frustration. I think that if he wanted to watch the show along with us, that maybe he would feel one way or the other. But if you're not watching Discovery Home Companion, you probably don't. It's all very real, raw feelings. The thing is, when we record the show, we record it minutes that night after it originally airs, and we're kind of digesting how we still feel about it in real time. So yeah, it's a different dynamic than watching a 20-year-old show, thinking about it all week, and then coming with you're coming at it with your points and having a leisurely conversation about it. It is a little different.
Yeah, I'm coming in after watching the show, and I'm trying to enjoy the show, and then I'm excited about it. Then I come in, and James is just laying into it. You know what? And I'm just trying to enjoy the show, goddammit. And that's why James isn't on this pot. No, I gave him the boot.
Yeah, James is on assignment right now. He's not on. Yeah.
Listen, if we can't get along, I'm just going to have to find somebody else that's going to agree with me. And if
That's right. Do it for the health of the show.
Right. So, yeah, here you're listening to my good friend here, Hugh Crawford.
Hello.
And I'm Wade Bowen, and James isn't here tonight. This is a different lead into the show than we usually do. But just to put everybody at ease, I don't know. I can't keep up the charade that, I'm mad at James right now.
Yeah, we didn't fire him. Right. He is gone. He's on vacation right now. He's out personally putting out fires in California.
Right, yeah.
Real American hero.
Yeah, but it does seem like that people are worried about us. We've gotten a few responses on Twitter and stuff that are like, whoa, guys, what's going on? Hey, it's not worth it if you need to go back and just take a break from Discovery. Listen to the rules of acquisition. Y'all are having such a good time. You're such good friends. Don't let this podcast kill that for you.
Yeah, we're just coming in. You're kind of getting a raw reaction, not something that has been processed as individuals, and it is definitely leading to a different dynamic on air. But we're sorting it out, and I'm sure it's going to evolve over time.
Yeah, this is a different podcast than the ROA, I guess. We're stress testing 20 years of friendship over here.
Right.
No, but it's fine. It's fine. How many times if I just say it's fine ever again, will you believe? No. Anyways, but yeah, so James is out of town, but we're going through your voicemails, and we still want to hear what everybody has to say.
Yeah.
So you want to move on to the next one?
Hit it.
All right.
Yeah, let's see what you got.
Yeah, thanks for that call, Greg. Even if you're not watching the show right now, it's nice that you want to listen to us talk about it.
Well, until we run you off, Greg. Until,
yeah, it's nice.
until,
It's nice that you've stayed with us this far. I can see how it's frustrating.
Yes, yeah, I can sympathize with you, Greg.
Yeah, me too. Me too. All right, and lest everybody think that this is just like, hey, James is gone, so let's just shit on him all the time.
Oh no.
I'm gonna play this other voicemail here. This one is a little further back, but it's on Context is for Kings, but we didn't get to it last time, so I'll go ahead and just play it.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's Robert from Virginia calling about the Discovery episode, Context is for Kings. And sorry, Wade, I got to agree with James and Hugh on this one. To me, the main issue was the episode didn't feel a lot like Star Trek. And obviously, I'm fine with darker Trek. I've been listening to you guys on your Deep Space Nine podcast. Love Deep Space Nine. But the show just felt, overly serious. Didn't feel a lot like Star Trek. Felt very action movie. And when she soliloquized, quoting Alice in Wonderland while crawling away from something that was going to kill her, I just couldn't take it. It was too much. The whole my species is evolved to sense death was already pretty cringy for me, but man, I just couldn't believe that quoting scene. It was so unbelievable. I don't know. I'm trying to remain optimistic about the show. I hope it gets better. I hope it starts feeling a little bit more like Trek, but right now it really isn't. And so I'm a little disappointed by that. And I know we're only 3 episodes in, but there are not as many. We don't have 26 episodes to figure out this first season, so. Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm a little bit worried at this point. All right, keep up the good work. I look forward to hearing your thoughts on future episodes. Bye.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a pretty typical thing about the show for a while, that people are trying to, somebody Drive Time's Twitter feed kind of pertains to this call where they say, it was somebody, Dr. Somebody.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Where the tweet, they said that Discovery is not a bad show if you just pretend it's not a Trek show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a sentiment that our caller had, that Trek fans have a certain tolerance for darkness in their Trek. But this is a show where, and I thought about it,
yeah,
nobody likes each other. We don't have anything on screen.
Yeah, yeah. I think Dr. Chanda Quark is the name on Twitter.
Right.
At Ejiwangi. But yeah, I think that's hey, now that James, just between you and me and the chickens, hey, James isn't here, so I'm going to come out and say something here that I maybe wouldn't say with James. I kind of agree with you, Robert. I have a lot of problems with the show, too. I mean, I'm enjoying the show, and I actually do like it, so don't get me wrong, and I'm not just like trying to be contrarian, but I have some concerns about the show too. It
doesn't break your brain.
It doesn't break my brain, and I still think of it as Trek, but I wish it were more like what everybody wants it to be, I have issues with it, but they're still not deal breakers for me entirely. But yeah, what I'm saying, I guess, is I'm trying to remain optimistic as well.
Right.
And I think I am for the most part still, but it is what it is kind of what it is about the show. And I'm just like, okay, let me just accept it on its terms and see how to deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll go ahead and give a shout out to Angry Goldfinch on Twitter. He's contacted us a few times. Well, we get a lot of response from people that maybe don't want to send us their voice communications.
Right.
Yeah. And Angry Goldfinch talked to us about like The Expanse. Anyways, he thinks we should go watch The Expanse. And you know what? You're right. Everybody should go watch The Expanse. I had a moment last night where I was sitting in bed and I said to my significant other, oh, I wish The Expanse were on right now. And then I felt like, oh my God, I wish I hadn't said that. Wait a minute. Why am I saying that?
Is it off? Is it in between seasons right now?
It's in between seasons. Yeah. I just like, I wish The Expanse were back already so I could watch it. And I was like, Shut your mouth, Wade. You have a sci-fi show, right?
Aren't you in deep enough? Is what you're saying.
Yeah. Shut your mouth. You've got Star Trek right now. Don't be greedy, you son of a bitch. The other thing about The Expanse is apparently, thanks Angry Goldfinch for letting me know, that the 3 prisoners that were in the shuttle transport with Michael Burnham were actors that were also in The Expanse.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah. Contributing to James is they're casting actors from other Star Trek, from other sci-fi properties that they want to emulate, but whatever.
All 3 of them, though? That seems like a bit...
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that's wild. I didn't know that.
Yeah, all 3 of Burnham's fellow prisoners are also Expanse actors.
So
they're not the leads, but I think I do recognize them.
Okay, a quick thing about The Expanse I have to ask you about before we move on to the next voicemail. I don't want to, turn the voicemail segment upside down.
Okay.
So I'm trying not to I'm consciously trying not to derail the segment. Is what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, you can go ahead.
The Expanse, does the first season follow the first book in the series? Is it every series is a book? Every season is a book?
I have no idea. I haven't read the book. At the end of the first series, there's I don't want to put any spoilers out there, so I don't know.
Well,
you've read the first book.
I've read the first book, so yeah.
Okay, spoilers, I guess, warning, but tell me what happens at the end of the first book, and I'll tell you if it's at the end of the first season.
Well, I'd much rather vice versa, that you just tell me what happens at the end of the first season. Because you're talking about you tipped your hand already, and I think what happened what you're saying that happened in the middle of the first book.
Okay, yeah. There's the rich Mal's daughter that's like the corporation's runaway daughter that the private dick is looking for,
which started the whole thing off. Yeah,
right. I think at the end of the first season they finally find her on the planet or on the asteroid station, and shit goes foobarred. And I think it ends with them crash. Yeah, it ends with them. This is very spoiler heavy for anybody that hasn't watched The Expanse, I guess. Something crashes into Mars. I'll just put it that way.
Right.
And that's the end of the first season.
Right. I think, okay, that's pretty close to the first book then. Have you seen it, and you're waiting on season 3 right now, or you're waiting on season 2?
And I think I've watched all of it, so I'm waiting on season 3, yeah.
All right. You want to get to the next voicemail, or?
All right. Yeah. All right. This next voicemail is from a favorite of ours. Actually, there's 2 of them. He gets cut off, and then he calls back, but from Bucky W.T. Goodhair.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I think he's gone from Horvadal to Crasso Lantern because of the, upcoming holidays.
He's festive.
Yeah. So, I haven't changed my name to Wade Bowen or whatever yet, but who knows. Anyways.
Hey guys, Bucky once again calling in. This is for Discovery Home Companion. Finished the 4th episode of the show, whatever was first broadcast on October 8th, Sunday, yesterday. It's the one with the insanely long title, wherein Michael spends most of the time figuring out what the giant bug thing does. I'm pleased. I like the show. I do like that it's darker. I like that you've got these, very obvious polar opposites in Lorca and Stamets. Given the preview of next week's episode, I think we'll learn a lot more about Lorca's motivations and history. He's clearly battle-hardened, and I think we're going to get to see more of what he's coming to. But I did come to a conclusion about the show itself and then the story that the show is telling. My biggest thing as we go along with Discovery is that they set it 10 years before Kirk. That doesn't make any sense because the technology is too good. These characters, while I get that they're not supposed to be as advanced or optimistic as Kirk, McCoy, and company, 10 years isn't enough time for the fundamental nature of Starfleet to change. And ultimately, the show itself would have made more sense if you said it after Voyager comes back from the Delta Quadrant and after Romulus goes kablooey and the events of Star Trek Nemesis. then you might not be able to do Harry Mudd, but you remove a lot of these. You can change the uniforms and nobody worries. You can change the look of the Klingons and not have to worry and say, well, the founders got screwy during the Dominion War. And so I think the show kind of hamstrung itself by insisting that it be before Kirk, because everything else is completely fine if you flip it to after Janeway, Voyager, and Nemesis. That's the show thought. In terms of the narrative that the show's putting forward within the context of Star Trek, it's pretty clear that everybody on board the Discovery and the Discovery itself has to die and not work, right? Because there's no way in hell, if the Discovery is successful, Starfleet might end up winning the war with the Klingons or successfully suing for peace and then us getting the Klingon neutral zone. But there's no way for the Discovery to ultimately work because the technology just doesn't line up. I mean, this ship is more advanced than Voyager and the Defiant. And Bucky again for Disco Home. The voice box cut me off. I'm going to try and keep this much more concise. Finish up my last thought. With respect to Discovery and the technology, how does it all work and fit into the timeline? Either the ship doesn't work, everybody's got to die, and the ship gets blowed up, or the ship works so well that when the Klingons sue for peace, part of the deal is that Starfleet has to dismantle this technology and never pursue it again. That's the only thing that makes sense to line everything else up, similar to how Starfleet agreed with the Romulans to not develop cloaking technology. I hope that Discovery actually does bring in the Romulans, because they kind of have to. The Romulans are really important with the Klingon narrative for Starfleet and the Federation in Kirk's time and before. But for whatever reason, ever since Nemesis and the first JJ movie, Star Trek as a whole wants seemingly nothing to do with the Romulans or any of the other races that they created and have built so much for, other than the Klingons. I like the show. I'm willing to accept that certain things aren't going to line up, because nobody envisioned in 1966 that Star Trek would still be on the air doing another television show 50 years later with computer-generated imagery, yada, yada, yada. I'm happy. I love Sonequa Martin. I think she's great. I'm happy with the show. It's sort of like, I guess I'm not even sure what my complaints are, because I do like the show. I just wish that some of this stuff were seemingly a little more thought out, but obviously we'll see. We're going to learn more about Lorca, and hey, bring on Dwight. So, all right, fellas, keep it gangster. Find me on Twitter at BuckyWT. Good hair. Later.
Yeah.
Well, I think that out of everybody that we're in contact with, whether it be on the Discord server, through our Patreon, like all of our friends at Cisco, I definitely think Bucky is the most happy with Discovery.
Yeah. I'm with Bucky on this. I'm liking it. I mean, yes, okay, yeah. I wish it were different too, but I like it.
Okay, my thing is that I think there's a third option that's going to come to. The reason why they can't use this technology is because it's inhumane to the component that makes. I think that's pretty obvious.
I think
the tardigrade, you can't chain it to a computer and use it as your navigation.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a purple nurple so hard that we're gonna go wherever we want.
Absolutely, I think that is the real issue. Is that I think that's why this technology exists, but the Federation can't knowingly harm another species to make it work. I would imagine that's why they don't have Kirk. Has a car battery hooked up to a tardigrade's nipples.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess the question is Starfleet going to decide that they don't stand for that kind of shit and just are going to bury it? Or is like Sonequa Michael Burnham going to decide to just pull another mutiny for the right reasons against Lorca and just kill or will Stamets even be like, okay, you're right, we had to. There's a lot of different ways they could do it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think more than everybody dying and the ship blowing up, or what was the third option? Or his second option. One of his options was the ship blows up and the technology's lost, or there's some sort of accord with the Klingons dictating that they're not allowed to use the technology because we have precedent for that in the Trek universe. I think that there's the third option is it's just inhumane and they can't make it work otherwise.
Right.
And so
right.
they decide not to do, like, it's not worth, imprisoning a whole species just so you can get somewhere faster. Now,
Right. And
as far as an audience is concerned, we allow that to happen. Like, we're fine with it because they saved a bunch of people, like, screaming children last episode.
Yeah, and which people have pointed out, and they were right, that how fucking heavy-handed they were with the like vocals of the mother kid going, "Mama, are you?" I was like,
yeah,
that's like,
I guess
that's like some Michael Bay, Pearl Harbor shit, like pulling that, and where you're right, fuck you for doing that so crassly and unabashedly, just like, oh, this is, hey, if we have a child doing this, it's like, I don't know, it is a little, people have brought it up, and you're right, it did kind of piss me off. Like, I see
it's a little bit manipulative. Cheap and manipulative.
Yeah.
All right, Bucky.
Which Lorca is. Oh, yeah. Oh, the other thing he talks about is how he hopes the Romulans come into it, which I think I'm going to have to disagree, because I'm still mad that Lorca spored Michael Burnham to Romulus, because I mean, they could bring the Romulans in, but if they show the Romulans and say, like,
that was mysterious. They're mysterious.
Yeah, nobody knows that they even look like Vulcans until what's the episode? The best of the no, maybe not the best, but
I know what you're talking about. It's one of the best ones. It's the submarine episode.
Yeah. We've said the name a lot, and I just can't think of it right now. But yeah, I mean, I thought that was the point where they realized that the Romulans look like the Vulcans, and then one guy's racist against Spock and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that guy looks just like your dad. Wait. But I'm still mad that, like, oh, look at Romulus. You remember Star Trek Nemesis? It's like, no, nobody knows that yet. And they've kind of come out and said, well, it's because Gabriel Lorca has all this insider shit for nobody. Mysterious reasons that will be revealed. And it's like, yeah, because he's Section 31 or something, or Mirror Universe. But anyways, sorry for that rant. I'm less inclined to bring the Romulans into it. That's all. But bring on Dwight. Yeah, and thanks again, Bucky. It's always good to hear from you.
And hell, it takes place in the future. You could still have it take place post-Nemesis, post-Voyager, and have it be Harry Mudd.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Harry Mudd has lived for 200 years for one odd reason or another.
Yeah, he's doing all this shady pimping and selling contraband and stuff. It makes sense he'd find a miracle Kurzweil drug.
Yeah.
Anyways, got a few more calls.
Awesome.
This one is interesting.
Hey, it seems I feel kind of like I shouldn't be calling, but some people may recognize they've heard my wife before on the ROA. But anyway, come on, guys. It's sounding like drunk family Christmas over there, and like started yelling, and then Uncle started yelling, complaining about Vietnam all over again. And what's going on, man? Let's just have a nice family dinner and everybody get along. Come on. Anyway, so all that to say, withholding judgment on Discovery Home Companion. The show, it's got a lot of problems, but for the most part, I'm still reserving judgment. However, the Klingons are too emo and wimpy. They need to be fucking metal, and I'm getting a little tired of that. In particular, Klingon Anderson Cooper, Vok, look at...
Oh, and he got cut off. Oh, shit.
Klingon Anderson Cooper.
Yeah, that's like, okay. So, yeah, I don't know. Y'all recognize that guy's voice. His wife was on the show.
That's quite a jump, isn't it?
Right. But
I bet you there's somebody who's on the show he's more closely related to than a wife.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's just say his wife's last name is Bowen. So yeah, pretty sure I'm pretty sure that was my brother.
Yes. That was your twin brother, because you have other brothers.
Yeah. My other married brother is not calling into the show, I'm pretty sure, or listening. I don't know about my other brother. I got a lot of brothers. Anyways, Yeah. So I guess he's chastising. I guess me and James screaming at each other like
we're probably the only Star Trek podcast where people call up to tell us they don't like our show. I think that's,
right.
Greg and now Lane.
Right.
Oh well, I guess we can only work with what we've got. We can only play the cards we've been dealt.
Right. But he did get cut off, but he did realize that and he called back.
Oh, let's hear that.
So yeah. Oh, but I do agree. The Klingons should be more metal and less Anderson Cooper. Anderson Cooper from Klingons.
Okay, so I think I may have gotten cut off on my last call. So let me pick back up. Klingon Anderson Cooper is gonna be all go visit his girlfriend's mom and get twisted into a humanish guy. He'll probably end up being on the Discovery. Maybe he's a crew member, maybe not. At some point, that tribble on the desk is going to go off. That's going to be how they get the Klingons all infected with human stuff. And that's how they'll win the war, more than likely. That's my prediction. Anyway, also, just concerned about Mokai Klingon Dream Girl. She better actually end up being like kind of conniving and not just there to be, the sad guy who can't get a girlfriend's manic, pixie dream girl Klingon version who's like, hey, you have no friends and you're not good with people, but you know what? I believe in you. Go see my mom. She changed your life and you listen to some shins and then I'm going to do everything for you because I believe in you. So let's not have any of that, but we'll reserve judgment. Anyway, bye.
I think he's going to go see the mom and it's going to be like spy school for idiots. Like, right? Isn't it?
No, Vok is going to Garden State is what it sounds like Lane is afraid of. He's going to go have some Zach Braff. She's like, I can fix you. Let me put on this crash helmet. And,
I see. Yes.
Yeah. I think what he wants is for her to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to send you over there and fuck you over. And then I'm going to be the captain now. But who knows?
No, I think she's probably going to be, somebody who's like a power broker behind the scenes.
Yeah, I think
they made that pretty clear.
Yeah.
And so we're getting into some interesting territory where one of our predictions was the transhuman in disguise or Klingon in disguise, and it looks like we'll probably get that, huh?
Yeah.
Whether it be Voke as Lorca or something.
I could. Yeah, Voke as. It would be really interesting if they did Voke as like Philippa, Michelle Yeoh, because that would be crazy,
Yeah, that would be.
Because who knows, they could do a gender swap too, but it's like maybe Brian Fuller would try to pull that off, but Alex Kurtzman isn't going to let that shit fly. Me being a dick again, but I just don't see it. Like they'd be like, nope, that's too much. That's going to take the audience out of it too far. We can't get that weird with it.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I wish, but I think it would be cool if they did. But yeah, maybe that he'll be, because Lorca, I think anybody that's watched the next one knows that he gets kidnapped and tortured by Klingons, and even Mokai Klingon Dream Girl or whatever, I think is torturing him in the next on. We see that. So maybe he gets replaced with a Klingon. Who knows? The next episode is called Choose Your Pain. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. You got some more voicemails?
Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, yeah. This isn't nepotism. He just called again, and he had one more point to make. My brother.
Well, listen, 3 voicemails in one night after like 18 months of him never doing calling in. That's pretty good.
Oh yeah, and all three of these voicemails together are still under the 3 minutes that it cuts you off anyways. So I'll give him a pass. Like 2.5 minutes total.
Sure.
I'm spending more time talking about it right now than it does to listen to it.
Oh yeah, me again. Forgot one more thing you guys didn't bring up. No, I know Battlescar Galactica Lady was maybe not the best character, but have you noticed the bridge is looking a lot more white lately? I mean, come on, like the one other female of color or person of color on the show, and she gets killed really dumbly, and we're left with one black woman, great, and then a bunch of white guys. And the only other woman, really, is the whitest woman you could possibly find. Of course, Tilly. But You don't see a problem there? Come on, give Battlestar Galactica lady time to actually become a good character instead of killing off the one other brown person. Come on.
Yep. It's
Yeah,
you.
That's a good point.
That's a great point. Yep, I agree. I mean, there is a female character on the bridge that's doesn't look to be human at all. But
the robot. Yeah.
She looks like the people the robots that paint themselves gray in parks and stuff. I walk past that robot to go into work in Times Square every day, right?
It's got a dumbass whistle in its mouth. I see tourists putting their kids and taking pictures with it, and I want to yell, "Get your kids away from him! They're filthy!" But
they sleep in that silver paint, don't they?
Right. Yeah, I'm more aware. I get more worked up about the Elmos, but yeah, you don't see them a lot. I think the cops chased them out, but that's neither here nor there.
Right.
As much as James hated Battlestar Galactica lady, I liked her, and I wish she were better served on all accounts. I think by the writing and by not getting killed off in like the dumbest way possible. Really, like, because I will admit that was a dumb. That's like a Darwin Award.
That's Darwin Award in space.
Yeah, this thing that we've been shooting and been unable to hurt. Let me put some gas on it and not check to make sure it's asleep, and then just like shoot at it again. Like,
yeah, that was that was a pretty dumb way to die.
Yeah. Oh shit! Wait a minute. That might be all the calls we have.
No way. That's it. Are we done?
Yeah, I think we might be. All right. And what? Wait a minute. Wait. Oh, this just in. We do have one more voicemail left. I almost missed it here. We have a quick note here from our regular listener and caller, Stefan from the Netherlands, who has a brief comment on episode 4. So, let's just do that real quick.
Hello, fellas. This is Stefan. I just listened to your podcast for episode 4. And, well, you guys seem to have a lot more to say about it than I did. One thing I did notice is that it's a testament to Discovery's great new characters that they introduced the character of the ship's doctor in the last episode, and you guys didn't even mention it. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.
Well, Stefan, kind of like how I said earlier, whenever we do the show, we're kind of coming in hot with an immediate reaction. The Doctor was kind of fun, but it's treated like a throwaway.
Yeah. I thought we did mention it for. Maybe James cut it because we didn't say much.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, oh, he showed up. Remember, he has a boyfriend that he lives with. And, yep, there he was.
Yeah, I think that's probably what happened.
Yeah,
but I think we did have some thoughts on it. They weren't interesting or profound.
right.
Or made for good podcasting.
Yeah. Well, he was there.
Yeah. I hope that we see more of them in the future. There does seem something a little counterintuitive about having a doctor on a starship wear all white.
Yeah,
because that's just going to every bodily fluid and blood of all different species.
Right,
motor oil for the robots. Everything shows up on white.
The creators are pretty happy. They really do love those white Dr. Medbay uniforms, though, because it does look pretty sharp. I'll give them that. But well, I mean, in reality, doctors wear white, the white lab coat. Like, so it is like a thing that doctors wear white. That is like common, but you're.
Yeah. Oh, it's not, I know it's not outlandish that they would do it. Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah. But no, you are totally right. Like blood or pus or whatever fluids come out from other aliens or humans is going to show up real well on that.
Right,
so.
Right. So
maybe they have like space age polymers that just like, it's like it's some amazing stain guard on that shit that just like sucks it up and spits it out, and you don't have to worry about it staining or showing up at all. I don't know. Actually, I bet before the show is over, they will show us how much blood shows up on a doctor's uniform because they haven't.
They're not afraid of showing blood on the show or gore.
They are not. They fucked up Rekha Sharma, or Landry. Yeah. Security.
Well, I was thinking about the Cronenberg-esque Glenn scenes too.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
that's true. Yeah.
I don't think we'd ever seen anything like that on any sort of Trek.
No. Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
I mean, the Borg in their day were pretty like gross looking.
Yeah, but it was still like 90s cheap kind. I mean, makeup.
Sure.
Cronenberg looks as bad too. Like in some. I don't know if they do or not. I'm trying to think how gross it looked in Crash. Have you seen that movie? Not the Cronenberg Crash, not the shitty Oscar movie that
Oscar
should not
bait
have won.
movie, yeah,
that movie. Oh, don't get me started. That's a whole other podcast, and this podcast is almost done.
All right, so next week we have Discovery episode 5, right?
Just a few days. Yeah, Choose Your Pain.
Choose Your Pain
is the name of the episode.
And then will we be halfway over at 5? I mean, are we halfway over with the before the break?
Yeah, there's 9.
Right.
It's
going by fast.
It is. Yeah. And there was only supposed to be 6, I think, originally, and they added 3 more.
I'll be damned.
But, yeah. And they finished shooting the day. I think they finished shooting like as we record this. They've done shooting for the first season. Just got to wrap it up.
They're most definitely going to get a second season, aren't they?
I think so. I think they're in a. I think Les Moonves is trapped in a corner, whether he wants to or not. Because what the fuck else does CBS All Access have to offer?
Did I tell you about my idea for or what I wanted with an anthology show, like a season? Was this something I just thought of and thought to myself, or did I share it with you?
Well, I don't remember. I refreshed my memory.
Okay, so I think about my fantasy, Trek anthology show all the time.
Sure.
A show that deals with 10 episodes a season, tells a 10 episode story, and then moves from season to season, takes place in a different time in Trek.
Right.
So in other words, you could do post Nemesis stuff that we want to see. Mm-hmm. You could even do a story that takes 10 years before Kirk, like we're seeing now.
Right.
Or you could go back and you could visit some characters as they get older, like Jonathan Archer as like an admiral, or whatever.
Oh, yeah, or as president of the Federation.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah. I think that was Brian Fuller's original pitch.
Well,
that's what
I think about all the time. And
right.
And the episode in the particular story I wanted to see, because James always talks about his Emperor Worf series, where it's a Game of Thrones-esque story that happens on Kronos, where Worf is the Emperor of the Klingon Empire.
Right, and there's there's a new Dax that's like Charlie Utter from Deadwood, I think.
Yes, that's so my fantasy anthology season is we have 10 episodes. And it's all about Dr. Crusher's medical ship, where she's the captain of a medical ship.
Yeah.
Because to me, it would be totally interesting to see what a Federation medical vessel does for its missions.
Yeah.
Having not only a captain doctor, but a ship full of doctors going from planet to planet doing weird medical stuff.
I would love to see that. And Gates McFadden would be up for it, but at the same, and I would love to see like her done right by, she talks a lot of, she'll talk like apparently Berman was not the best to her as he wasn't the best to a lot of the female actors.
No, I'm saying give me 10 episodes, like a story, a season long arc of Captain Crusher and her medical ship and some adventures that they go through, and in the post Nemesis, post Voyager world.
Yeah.
And you actually could use the exact same ship from the season finale, because when they go in the future, she's got her own ship.
Yeah.
That's because it's already canon. But now we actually have that actress about approximately that age, as because she was aged 30 years or whatever.
Yeah, you're really keen on getting these actors 30 years later to do that.
I really want to see these actors in some capacity back in those classic roles.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I really do.
Yeah,
it's something and I think that
everybody'd be up for that. Yeah,
doing it this way, you would have So I mean. That is a gold mine idea for CBS to do every season. You don't know what you don't know what characters you're going to revisit, because then you've got all sorts of different hype for this, because everybody's going to be like, oh, check out the ship for this new season, check out the costumes for this new season, check out this. So every year you have something for the fans to just like. Totally immerse themselves into.
I think like why CBS shut down Brian Fuller's original pitch for that is because they were going to do the whole what they're doing now, like spending $6 million an episode on the show, and it was just like, well, it's like when they started DS9, they spent like more than they paid for Undiscovered Country building the sets and everything. That pilot was expensive. To do like jump from era to era, I think the argument was it would just cost too much because they'd have to rebuild new sets for each era and everything. But I agree with you. Fuck that.
Yeah.
If they could spend Next Generation money or less, because the technology's gotten better, you can make that shit work better for cheaper.
Right.
And you know what? And if you don't spend $6 million an episode, but you're doing like Crusher shit and doing good stories,
right?
People will forgive you for it.
Yeah, it doesn't have to. I don't even see $6 million on the screen when I'm watching.
No, spend as much money as they do on an episode of The Orville, which they don't spend as much as they do on Discovery.
Exactly, or spend $6 million on your app so it works properly.
Damn straight, yeah. Yeah. Oh, don't get me started on how much I hate
CBS All Access is such garbage.
Look, as much as I defend the show, that app is so off. Like, well, if you've used it, like it'll play commercials like 5 times in a row, and then start over from the last commercial break except from where you've watched. It makes me so angry. But yeah,
it is pretty awful.
Yeah. And the show, if we're talking about the shows we want, as much as I'm enjoying the show and I'm on board for it, I still have a little bit of a tinge when I think about the show that could have been. I mean, I've said on the podcast, like, hey, slow your roll. Maybe Brian Fuller wouldn't have been doing that much amazing shit differently. But from the concept of the show, it's a magical mushroom mystery tour where they just can go everywhere. That was going to have a big tardigrade fluffy water bear on the bridge. It was probably going to be bright and colorful and like a mind trip. Like it's like a high quality fucking HR puffin stuff, kind of just like acid trip of a show.
Right.
Would have been awesome. And it would have pissed off the nerds in different ways, because it's like Star Trek isn't about like this crazy goofy shit, but it is. And just like do an acid trip of a show instead of this like kind of
grimdark version.
Grimdark thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I said before. Nobody on the show, nobody on the actual characters don't even like each other.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, except for Tilly, who likes Michael, I guess maybe, or just can't help but be nice.
Yeah.
Even if she has any sorts of bad or ill will towards Michael, she can't. Yeah. It's not within her to.
Yeah. I mean, and you look at the episode titles, it reads like a prog rock like concept album track listing. so like, give me that, man. I want to like flip through those. I don't even smoke weed, or I have never, done that really psychedelics or anything, but I just want to be the fucking stoner burnout flipping through my album covers. Like, yeah, I don't know.
So you want it to look like, if it looked more like Legion felt.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would have been great.
There's nothing really genuinely weird about this Trek, is there?
Not really, except the concepts, like a mushroom trip that trips across the galaxy. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Have your visuals reflect that conceit. Yeah, but that's not what we got. And
All right.
and I'm on board, and I'm actually excited for Choose Your Pain because I saw.
Yeah, I'm excited about the next episode too.
Yeah, I saw a clip from it and it looked great. It introduces another main character that is he's not a white guy. He's like a POW basically. He's been in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lorca meets him in jail. Let's put it that way. I don't think that's big spoilers. And he's a main character.
Yeah, I think we could see. Okay, yeah, I think I've seen that on the.
Yeah. And Harry Mudd, who says something that will make there's a line in this show that people will either go like, oh, or they'll go like, oh yeah, that's what Trek's about, or I recognize that.
Oh, okay.
You'll know what I'm talking about when you hear it.
I'll be keeping my ears out open for it.
But there we go. Yeah, we think we've talked enough tonight.
Do you want to outro this?
Sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you've been listening to me and Hugh, and James is in the penalty box because I'm ruling with an iron fist here, and he can get the fuck out now.
He refuses to stand for a national anthem, so Wade put him in the.
That's right.
He took a knee.
You take a knee. You're not starting on this team. You get the fuck out.
Yeah. I fully supported him, but Wade, Jerry Jones, Wade Bowen threw the book at him.
Yeah.
All right. So if people want to give us a call or email us, should we give that out one more time?
Yeah. Give us a call at 917-408-3898. Or give us an email at rulesofacquisitionpodcast@gmail.com, Twitter at acquisitionpod, because we have this other podcast called The Rules of Acquisition. And we also have this Patreon, which we added a Discord server to, and we're really building a really nice community over there. I'm actually really excited.
A lot of fun conversations about Trek are going on the Discord server. If you follow any of the Friends of Cisco on Twitter, a lot of them have taken their Trek conversations to the Discord, so you should consider. I mean, heck, even if you give $1 a month, it helps us out a lot, and you have access to all that good conversation going on over there.
Yeah, it's really been a nice, it's kind of blown me away, like the community that's developing over there. It's pretty great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for Wade and James.
Right? Yeah, James is stuck in the pattern buffer. We've been friends a long time. We still all love each other. Everything's copacetic, guys. It's going to be all right.
This is Hugh. 3 to beam out.
Subscribe to us on iTunes or Stitcher or Caster or Fuckcast or Podsucker. Review us on iTunes. Also grab a bit of fame for yourself by calling us at 917-408-3898 and leaving us a message. We play that shit on air. Or email us at rulesofacquisitionpodcast@gmail.com. Also, listen to our Deep Space Nine podcast Rules of Acquisition. It is pretty amazing, but you may not yet be ready for its awesome amazingness. Assess your personal awesomeness appropriately.